Hello, everybody. Hi. We are here, and we are joined by Mr. Covered, whoever and wherever he is. And who is he joining? Rotary, Toastmasters, Sussex, England, Dominica, Paris, the world. And together, we're going to sing, yes, but we're going to talk some more. So welcome, everybody. It's the first for Alawi. Woo!
I know it's only two I change. Oh, she's going to take us one day, one tea. I want to be together the one.
So right now we have a brief by Andy.
Good evening, everyone. This evening, well, how do I follow the start of for Violet? Very well done. I mean, excellent, really amazing start to the evening. Yeah, so welcome again to all our esteemed guests from around the world. Yep, and a nice sunny, warm evening here. I'm sitting in our conservatory in Luton, thinking of you all around the world. Excellent. So yeah, this is series 1, round 3, making connections, RoundTable, arts and culture. Toastmasters and Rotary working together in partnership. And I'm speaking here on behalf of our Rotary Club in Luton, Luton Someries. And we are happy, as Violet is, as many of you know, Violet is one of our esteemed Rotarians. Looks like we have an excellent night ahead of ourselves. Lots of performances. The panelists will be here. There's lots of entertainment for us to enjoy. Slightly different from the other two, as we talked about, but I'm sure we're going to have a really, really good evening. So I think with that, and what Rotary is doing this year is open, and our Rotary theme is opening doors to opportunities. And this is really the thing that I'm really enjoying what happens in these sessions. We are opening those doors to the opportunities for people to get involved and actually really be there for each other. So thank you very much and welcome all.
Well, thank you so very much. And I would like to thank Dr. Cuffy for having me survive a while ago. What a fantastic lady. Only a lady like that could put all of us like this together for us to be able to tell the rest of the world, hello, look onto us. And so it is with all of your applause, whether you do it silently or otherwise, that I would like to ask Dr. Violin Cuffy to come and do what you're supposed to do now. Give her a round of applause for me.
Excellent. Well, we did say tonight is going to be a night of fun and a night of excitement. So to start us off, we're going to exercise our lungs. And to do that, I'm going to hand over to the man of the moment, my fellow Toastmaster and choir master, David, and his team, More Than Just a Choir.
Hello, thank you very much. Thank you, Violet, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you for inviting us to be here. It's a really lovely thing to do, and it's wonderful to be part of this amazing collaboration between Rotary and Toastmasters. Wonderful to see that. Now, this is about COVID-19 and the response to it and the arts and culture. And I run a choir called More Than Just a Choir. And it's for people, adults affected by mental ill health, social isolation. We've been going for over 10 years. And we were very lucky. We were fortunate that as soon as the COVID hit, as soon as lockdown hit, we transferred straight away from meeting physically in person to meeting online. And that was back in March. So since March, I've done over between 60 and 70 live choir rehearsals. And the one thing I'll have to say is that a choir online is not a choir as you would know it. You can't sing together because I think, as we've all discovered by now, there's a time lag on Zoom. And so anything when you try to synchronize, it comes out quite cacophonous. So we've found ways to adapt. We use backing tracks and sing popular, accessible music. We do vocal and little physical warm-ups, and we sing unaccompanied rounds, and so just some simple harmonies. So I have 10 minutes tonight. So what I hope to do in that 10 minutes is to just give you a little flavour of what it's like to be part of a More Than Just a Choir singing session, which we do twice a week. Now, to help me do this, it would be really helpful if everybody could just allow themselves to participate. I'm not going to ask you to do anything too difficult. I'm not going to ask you to show yourself up. I'm not asking you to sing solo. In fact, we'll all be pretty much muted most of the time. But just to start, what I normally do is start with a physical warm-up, but with time constraints, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do a very short one, which is getting our head and jaws just relaxed a bit, because we can carry through the day a lot of tension in our jaws and our neck and not be aware of it. So what I'm going to do is, if you're just like, in fact, it would be nice if everybody is on gallery, if you can put yourselves on gallery view, so you can see me and some other people, because what I want to do is get the feeling of inclusiveness in here, so that we want to be part of a whole community, not just you watching me or me just watching one of you. So if you can all see each other as much as possible. First of all, what I'll just going to ask you to do, if you could mute yourselves, or if the host could mute everybody, obviously, except for me, that would be helpful at the moment. So what I'm just going to do, let's start, if you could just like to tap your heads or rub, whatever's more comfortable. And so you can see that everybody else is joining in. If you can put your videos on, that would be great. But if not, don't worry. And then just rub the back of your head a little bit, and your forehead, and your eyebrows, give a little bit of tender, loving care, and your eyes, cheekbones, and your cheeks, and don't forget your ears, very important. They like to be looked after too. And just your nose, and your mouth and chin. You start to feel your skin tingling a little bit, and your neck, and then the back of your neck. That's it, that's lovely. Oh. And then just give your jaw a little stretch. And if you can find that little point just in front of the ear where your jawbone meets the skull. You've got that little pivot point. That's it. And give you stretch your jaw around to the left and the right. And I must emphasize, don't dislocate your jaw. Do work in your comfort zone. If things start hurting or things start to be uncomfortable, stop doing that. This is not a workout. This is not Pilates. This is not This is not yoga. I'm not trying to get you to stretch limbs out to places they've never been before. It's just a gentle warm-up just to allow us to get to sing. So if you could, and that's it, we'll stretch. And what I'd just like to ask you to do is now exercise the tongue. Now, our tongue is connected to our vocal cords, and our vocal cords we need to exercise. So it may seem rude, but if you could just stick your tongue out, this is a legitimate exercise. It's not a statement of intent. And just a stretch. And if stretch to the right, stretch to the left, stretch straight up towards your nose, and straight down towards your chin. And then once more straight out. And then having done that, just give your head a little shake and shake out and let's loosen up. That's it. That's it. Now, at this moment, it would be lovely if everybody could unmute yourself. If you could take yourselves off mute just for a second. We just want to get a feeling of a little bit of communication going. Okay. So first of all, I just want you to take a deep breath in and just on the out breath, just go, ha, just like that. Ah, nice and simple. That's nice and gentle. And then we will extend the ha into a hello. So if we go, hello, hello, that's it, that's it. And the next one, what I'd like you to do is come closer to your camera. Find somebody on the screen, look into their eyes. Obviously, they can't see you looking into their eyes. You know you're looking at somebody. You just go, hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Nice to see you. How nice to see you. The next one, it's so lovely to be here. So lovely to be here. Thank you. And finally, but definitely not least, we're here to sing. And lovely. And when we're singing, the most important part of singing is breathing. Obviously, when we breathe in not a regular life, actually, if everybody now, if you could mute yourselves again, that would be much easier to explain and get on with. Thank you very much. So when we breathe, the upper part of the body, the shoulders and the chest needs to be relaxed and not doing anything, like the swan majestically floating on the water. And all the work, all the hard paddling is done by the lower abdominal muscles. So when you take a breathe in, when you breathe in to sing, you want to imagine you're filling your belly with air. Because when you breathe in your everyday life, your body just does it naturally. But the moment somebody says to you, okay, take a deep breath in, many people forget to let their body do the work and they start going, and they bring a great deal of tension. So if you take a breath in, if you find your shoulders moving, if you find your chest moving and tensing, just very gently and kindly allow them to drop and and imagine you're filling your belly up. So everybody, if you just put your hands on your tummy and take a breath in, you should feel it expanding. And then when you let the breath out, you should feel it contracting. That's very nice like that. So take a breath in and a breath out and a breath in and a breath out. That's it. Now, hopefully you can hear my piano if I play this note. Can I just have a thumbs up if you can hear that? Okay. So we're just going to do a very simple 2, 3, go. Then up one. And up one. Up one. Up one. Now, normally I'd carry on that for a little bit longer, stretch the voice out a little bit more, but to allow us to do more today, I'm just going to leave it there. So just everybody just unmute again for a second, and we'll do that one time, just to give a definitive reason why we mute. So I just want everybody to go after 4. 2, 3, 4. Such beauty as I have never heard before.
2 minutes
It's
left.
a wonderful thing to do.
2 minutes left.
2 minutes. Okay, so we're going to finish off with a little song, and the song is called Sway. It's an old Dean Martin number, and I've asked the host to allow me to share my screen, but it doesn't seem to have happened. So if somebody could allow screen sharing, please. I could.
Just 1 minute.
Okay, we'll sing for a minute. Okay, I'll just sing then, because I can't share my screen with the words. If you know the words to Sway, please do join in. If not, then well, just sway.
We'll sway, we'll sway, we'll sway. Sing for us and we'll sway.
When marimba rhythm starts to play, dance with me, make me sway. Like a lazy ocean hugs the shore, hold me close, sway me more. Like a flower bending in the breeze, bend with me, sway with ease. When we dance you have a way with me, stay with me, sway with me. Other dancers may be on the floor, dear, but my eyes will see only you. Only you have that magic technique. When we sway, I go weak. I can hear the sound of violins long before it begins. Make me thrill as only you know how. Sway me smooth, sway me now. Just la 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 la
Excellent stuff. Fantastic. Well done. What a fantastic.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Over to you.
Fantastic, fantastic. And now we come to the second part of the evening, and I will ask our Zoom master to share the intro video. Can I ask everyone to mute themselves who is not speaking at the moment? Blade, can you mute?
Some say before they go 6 under, they say they want to find love, love that lasts forever. Some say before the time run over, they want to meet their one love, even if they fly all over. Baby, more, the way you dance and you make me go low, the way you handle they comfort me, the way your body move make me come follow you. You know that it takes 2 to tango, and if you really lean a bigger follow, no need to search all over the world. You already got me, make me a bucket list, make me be a bucket list. My money on my mind is a bucket list, yeah, bucket list. The fulfill your fantasies, make me be a bucket list. My body and my mind, oh.
For you the fans. Here we go. There's nothing I want.
Richard, and I'm chair of Nottingham Carnival, have been for a long time. I'm sorry, but this year we can't bring you the Nottingham Carnival on the embankment with all the colour and the spectacle and the jerk chicken and the live music. Unfortunately, this year is 2020. We can't do that. We all know why that is. However, we're doing something different, and you're going to enjoy just as much. We're running our carnival online. So this year, Nottingham Carnival 2020 is not on the road, but it's online.
Carnival, Robert.
Don't forget to check out Nottingham Carnival on YouTube and Facebook this year on Sunday, the 23rd of August. We're not on the road, but we're online.
You got that? We're not on the road, we are online.
Great pleasure to be here this morning in the production house supporting the Nottingham Carnival organization as they get ready for the virtual launch on the 25th. Normally every year we would be in Nottingham, and I normally serve as one of the judges for the Carnival of Nottingham. Unfortunately this year we have to do something different, so we're adapting and we are preparing something fantastic, supporting the team as they do the production, and the young people that even spectators have come out here this morning, and even me as a judge have come to add my voice to the whole occasion. So I'm encouraging everyone, don't be disappointed. We can all do it at home via Zoom, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Join us on the 23rd. Come out and support your culture, support your heritage, and we're doing it as we've never done before, 2020, with the shifts, lockdown or no lockdown, we are celebrating our heritage.
Oh dear, I don't know what's happening to, I've lost it.
Can I ask everyone to mute themselves, please? We have with us today a fantastic group of artists who have served us during this really unbearable period for most of us who have had so many challenges with dear ones who've lost, co-workers who've really been stressed, and our artists and our cultural experts have really stepped up to the plate to serve us in a very unique way. And in the room tonight, we have quite a number of those special people. And at this moment, I would like to call on a fantastic lady who has become very dear to the hearts of many Dominicans far and wide, to grace us with her presence by unmuting herself. Tell us who she is. I'm not going to introduce her. I've seen her in the room, so I'm so happy I know she's there. Tell us who she is and tell us the fantastic work that she has been doing, showcasing Dominica across the globe. But it all started from the pain of the lockdown. Colin XP. Can I give her a round of a clap in a normal Toastmasters way? In 2 minutes, tell us how your project started and what has really turned out to be a fantastic, phenomenal project and therapy.
Hi, good day to everyone. My name is Colin XP. I'm from the beautiful island of Dominica. And I started this online show during the COVID-19 season. So we've been on for 21 Sundays since COVID-19 happened. You know, we just started off as, it's my husband and myself. We started off as a show just to keep in contact with our fans, but the response that we got from the outside world, that it was so therapeutic to them, you know, we decided to continue to do this musical therapy, which is what we call it, musical therapy with Colin XP, which is on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday from 5 p.m. You know, you could come in, you could join our Zoom and just have a good time and relax and enjoy yourself. It's a showcase of musical talent of myself, my husband, and other Dominican artists that I have brought on to the show. You know, we're showcasing Dominica and we're taking Dominican music to the world and just letting people enjoy themselves and just forget about all the worries and the struggles that they're going through with this pandemic.
Fantastic. Tell us what happened every other Sunday, because there's something unique that you do that makes each Sunday special.
Well, every Sunday we do a Zoom party, but we do it with themes. So sometime last Sunday we had hats, we had graduation celebrations, we had carnival celebrations, we had August Monday as well, you know, so we were just
Father's Day.
Yes, we had Father's Day, we had Mother's Day, and it was just different themes. So all the Zoomers were just locked in and they were all dressed up. They transformed their living rooms, their bedrooms, their porch, wherever it is that they were, they just transformed it and we just had a blast.
Okay, so it's really been a phenomenal experience, and you've really, through that concept of musical therapy, captivated the hearts and the mind of Dominicans like myself in the diaspora. Every Sunday night now, while I do my work, I'm tuning into Colin XP, and it's a way that I think people have found to celebrate each other while we cannot be in physical contact across the globe. And it's a phenomenon that has taken different forms in different places. So we really just want to honor you and celebrate you along with all the other artists tonight for the fantastic work that you've done, because we're quite aware that the artists are not that recognized during the period. And I'm going to bring into the discussion Tony Isles, and we saw him with his team as well on the screen. Tony, can you unmute yourself and tell us what is happening at the UK Centre for Carnival Arts, Notting Hill Carnival and Nottingham Carnival this year?
Okay, thank you everybody. I had no idea what I was being invited into today. It's been absolutely fantastic. It's my first time here, so thank you Violet for inviting me. I can't tell you what all those different areas are doing, but what I can tell you, you've already seen Nottingham is actually going along the lines of doing a virtual carnival. Yes, I was one of the people that you saw in one of those costumes doing what we could do. I must say it was a lot harder than it looks, but it was a lot of fun. But for me, it was really great to actually do something during lockdown, because we haven't been able to go around, because I come from Rampage Carnival Club, we're based in Luton, but I'm also part of UK Centre for Carnival Arts. And we do lots of tours up and down the country. So COVID really has impacted on how we, well, basically stopped us from touring. And it kind of put a bit of a stifling act on what we do. So being able to put your costume on and get involved with doing something like a live show or a shoot was actually something great. But what it really did was made us realize how much we missed Carnival and putting our costumes on and socializing. Because Carnival for us isn't just about going on tour, it's about socializing, it's emotional, it's everything, and it's part of your well-being. We tend to go out on tour once a week, up and down the country, and we really, really miss that. So just being able to come together just on that Saturday and do that shop was fantastic and remind us about what we were missing. In terms of what's happening in Notting Hill, again, they're doing a virtual carnival, and that looks like it's going to be really big and spectacular. They're spending quite a bit of money on it to make sure that, that the visual impact is there. What I'm really hoping is that it comes across with the same kind of energy and culture that you get when you actually go to Carnival. So for me, COVID has impacted, definitely economically, socially, and emotionally. But however, it's also taught us what we value most. And I think that's about the human touch. That's about being kind to each other, but it's also about enjoying your time. Sometimes going at a slightly slower pace, you can still enjoy yourself. But I do really miss the meeting of different people, the traveling, and all those sort of things that actually come together in Carnival. It's not just putting a costume on and parading, it's involving people in your culture, you know, and you see so many different people from all different ages along the side that you interact with. And I think that's something that we definitely will miss during the virtual carnival. So in terms of UKCCA, we're just trying to basically, I know Hopeton's here and he can talk even more about it than I can, but basically what we're trying to do is keep our presence. We're looking to put together a film of different sort of things that we've done collectively over the years. We've got lots and lots of footage. And perhaps what we can do is put that together so we can show that and get that up there, because memories is everything. You know, we live for our memories, and that's really important. And when you have memories as vibrant and as live as Carnival, there's something that we should really share as much as we can do.
Yeah. I know with us in the audience is also a fantastic song writer and singer who has graced the stage very recently, and she is a doctor, medical doctor by profession. I would like to call on Marie to tell us about what it has been like for her during this lockdown period.
Thank you for having me. This is indeed
tell us
my
where you're from, most importantly. Tell us where you're from.
Okay, so yeah, this is my very first participation to this kind of panel. So thank you for having me. My name is Marie Pascal Afana. I am from Cameroon. I'm a Cameroonian by birth, and my soul is really Dominican. So I live in Dominica. I've lived here for the past 11 years, and I'm a medical doctor. I'm a medical lecturer, and I'm also a musician, singer, artist. So during COVID, actually, I was still busy doing classes online for my students, but at the same time, I wanted to keep in touch with, you know, my supporters, the fans, etc. And for me, I know a lot of people saw it as a negative thing, but for me, COVID really allowed me to settle down and get to know my fans. So what I did was I actually took the time to read a lot on the music industry. There were a lot of panels and a lot of presentations. I remember Mr. Gordon Anderson had a presentation talking about, you know, the business behind the music. So not just, you know, recording, you have to know the business part, registering songs and all that. So actually, I've been taking this time to read on the music industry, to get familiar with how, you know, how I should do things properly, but also to write the music. So for me, being in Dominica in lockdown, this is a nature isle, so it's very peaceful. The air is fresh, so I use a lot of that time to create. So I was able to release two songs and 2 videos for the fans over the past 3 months or so. It really gave me a platform to focus on the people who support me as well. So I also had an MP and Chill, which was a live event. I went to a studio with my guitarist, and for the entire night, all I did with my friends and fans was just sing and have some wine. So it was MP and Chill, and it has become an event that I do now. Now that outside is more or less open, you know, you have MP and Chill, and that is what I use really to connect with the fans, to get to know them and to really tell them about me. It was interesting because I got to discover my business side, my musical side, and I know it was all about giving to the fans, but it gave me a lot too. And so,
question for you, Marie. A question
Yeah?
for you, because we brought you in for the fact as well that you are both a medical doctor and a singer.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the fact that we have Colin XP here with the sort of musical therapy, what can you tell us or just your views on how the arts and the culture can help us to deal with psychological stress.
You know, actually, my t-shirt, I have a t-shirt where I have Marie Pascal and my logo under my name on my logo. It actually says music is medicine. And I think that says everything about the way I see music. It's so therapeutic. And I agree with Colleen here. You know, when everything else happens, music is something that is very constant. You know, there's a wide range of songs. There are a lot of genres. So no matter how you feel, there's actually a song that matches your feelings. So you always have a friend in music. That's how I see it. So if you're happy, there are soca songs, bouillon songs. If you're sad, there are slower songs. You know, if you're in a certain mood, you will always find a song that matches that mood. And I think that all the artists that took the time to put music out and to revisit music, they did a lot of good for their fans and their friends and families.
Yeah,
so
certainly.
I do think music is there to heal us, and we have to tap into that even more.
Yes, and that takes me to another point in the show where I'm going to ask our Zoom master again to introduce the people among us in the room who works within the community in the arts and culture.
Mm-hmm.
We're all booked in, the 7th of September. Actually, I'm with your Limelight TV guys now. We're about to start filming. So, this is it, what Bedford has been waiting for.
This is a town rich in culture.
Diverse communities working harmoniously alongside each other.
Now it's time to come together and lay down the foundation for Bedford to unite and create a legacy for the next generation.
And I'm Bedford's next generation.
Bringing different faces from all races for a better understanding of each other.
Street Arts Festival will celebrate this, so we need you to be part of something special.
Get in, carnival time.
Bedford's best assets are its people, so we need you all to be there.
Fantastic. So we have solo artists, we have musicians, but we do have persons who actually serve disadvantaged persons in our community. And they too had the support of some fantastic people in the room. I would like to call on Jade at this moment to tell us about the work that she does with the young persons in her care.
Hello, hi. Thank you so much for having me. My name's Jade and I set up Spectrum Community Arts 3 years ago. And our whole purpose is to provide performing arts workshops and opportunities for people with disabilities and additional needs, and including those on the autistic spectrum, within Central Beds and Milton Keynes. Before lockdown, we had 6 out of school clubs running a week, and I also go into schools and work with special schools and SEND departments in mainstream sessions. When lockdown hit, that change and that impact that affected us all is hugely amplified in people who so, routine is so important for them, and suddenly all of their things that are so important to them stopped. There was no planning, there was no prep for that, it just stopped. And although some of them were still going to school, a lot of the extra therapy and out of school extracurricular stuff that is on offer obviously had to stop. So it was really important for me to kind of be there for the participants and provide something. So we've gone online, we've got a series of free YouTube dance along at home sessions, and we also provide 5 Zoom sessions a week for different levels. So we have sensory movement levels, a sensory music session, learn a dance routine, a creative dance session where they kind of build the dance themselves, and an interactive storytelling session, which is really using their performing arts and their drama. And the performing arts is so vital, I think, for everyone, to help with building self-esteem and social skills and communication skills. And particularly for people with learning disabilities, I think it's really paramount and important that they have this opportunity to be able to engage. So yeah, so we're continuing to do virtual sessions because we don't feel it's quite safe for our setting to go back in September as we hire venues. So we're looking at ways we can kind of freshen it up and new things, and yeah, so we're loving it. And actually it's kind of opened up some doors for people who are further afield are now accessing our sessions, so that's great. And people with medical conditions who can't leave their house or they can't get to us for an evening class are now able to join in. So yeah, it's fantastic, and it's definitely kind of made me go, is this something that we could continue to offer alongside our face-to-face as a way to include and make the performing arts more accessible to more people?
I think a lot of us are saying the same thing to ourselves, Jade. You know, everyone's talking about the new normal, but I do think that there are certain things that we've done just this whole event. I posted this morning on Facebook because I'm a bit of a Facebook fanatic that last year around this time I would have been in a foreign country presenting to a live audience at a conference. This year, today we are online, and we had to learn so many different skill sets. We had to become technical minded and learn to do, you know, editing of videos that you fantastic people sent to us. So we all went to bed 3 o'clock in this morning and got up, get, you know, ready for today. So we've all had to learn new things and new strategies of surviving. And yes, I think a lot of us have, as Marie mentioned, have had fantastic opportunities. I think my team for sure, we are saying that to ourselves every time, we've developed this concept and it has really grown magnificently. So there are lots of advantages in a negative situation if we have eyes to see it. And with that, I'm going to invite Sharon to come to the mic and tell us about the good work that she is doing in her community in Bedford.
Hello, so hi, thank you very much, Jade. You were great. In fact, I've got another screen which isn't just plain, it's the one that says Sharon Spectacular Arts, if you do want to view me, but I'll carry on talking. Okay, so we Spectacular Arts were, like most of you, had to stop in our tracks with COVID, but us being cultural arts, we're creative. So we find ways to kind of get through. So within Bedford, we have a fantastic diverse community that have been working harmoniously, but we don't necessarily integrate so much. So the whole idea of Spectacular Arts was to bring together all of the art forms to get diverse communities working together. And we did our first festival last year on the 7th of September, which with great success, but we also were working with other community groups, so the Italian groups, Thai groups, and doing events. And we had 4 cancelled this year. One was going to do a Hindu Festival of Colours, a Thai festival, another Italian one, and Black History we were going to do a lot with. So we were completely floored when we had to stop everything. But the beautiful fact was that we actually were in a prime position to actually stop and plan. So we realized that actually to plan any events going forward,
it was when do we start? So we actually decided to put all events on hold and actually turn our skills from our base to support our community going forward. And what we realized was, obviously with the Black Lives Matter issues coming forward, that we had a fantastic opportunity to really support our community. We have a database of 300 volunteers we have that we can call on. We've also got 25 professionals that work as volunteers through various skills, from national account managers to administration. So we decided to really connect with our town and different groups. So we first of all made sure we got our mayor backing us and understanding the plan of what we wanted to do as an organisation, working as a town to work with each other, to put a plan together and to have activity going across on all levels from all communities. And therefore we then, once we know what we're doing, we can then go to the borough and the council and say, this is what we're doing and this is the support we need. So that's what we've been doing. So we've decided to have a plan for 12 months and we split it into 3 phases. So one is the phase while we were in lockdown, and that was just to connect, to find other people that wanted to join the same thing. And that was to change the narrative, to change the images of our community. So from visual images physically out there. So whether it's murals, whether it's positive information going in notice boards, in public places, to workplaces, to gain those sorts of support. Then we touched base with our MPs to make sure they knew what we were doing and to talk about the bigger picture. So it's bringing our community together to change the language and the narrative that we're doing here. And we also were quite aware that we needed to have our foot in lots of different doors. So from community doors to boardrooms. So it was really hitting everything at every level, because we are quite aware that yes, we're in a position where we can start speaking freely, but we're still not in a position where we make the changes. So if we connect and work with those that physically make the changes and stand with them, we can do this. So our mayor has agreed to look at the policies that we have in Bedford and to write them with other groups. So we've brought other groups in. We've then found funding partners that will support the education system. So we've now got Bedford Creative Arts that are going to be working with us for the next 12 months that will bring in funding. And we're talking about funding that's substantial, that it's enough to put an educational Black history package direct into Bedford schools, and also a package that supports an outside installation for history and Black history in particular. So those are our first 2 partners. We've also secured the only Black history museum curators in the country that are based in Nottingham. So it's just fantastic. So they will come on board to support the work that's already going on in Bedford. But equally, if we've got any gaps, they will help to fill that gaps, and they will also help to train drama students and teachers to deliver this work across Bedford. So those are really strong partners that we have. Now, because of that, we've got organisations like the Harper Trust who have money to put back into Bedford every year, and they are now committed to join us on this programme. We've also now got Philharmonic Orchestra, who have a spin-off group that's based in Bedford that we'll be working with. And I also work with several other organisations supporting them. One is an organisation called Dancers Network. Now, my background is dance as well. I ran a dance school called Two Step Dance Company, and we now have most of the UK professional dancers that are commercial dancers that will be working with us to put together a fantastic collaboration. So we've got classical music meets kind of arts, street dance, commercial dance, to really showcase the uniqueness and a crossover, to really play with people's minds and conceptions so that we can have a stronger message going forward to understand the educational side that needs to come through, and to the correction of the history that's being told in the UK.
Okay, and that brings me to a fantastic place, Sharon, where I can invite our next presenter, Grace, to take the mic and really demonstrate to us live how the mixture of art, therapy, and song can really be music to our souls and to the community. Over to you, Grace. And may I ask every single person in the room to turn off their mic for this, please. It's quite important. Can we all go on mute? Thank you very much. Sharon, if you can mute yourself.
Okay, brilliant. It's such a pleasure to be here. I hope everyone can hear me okay. If you want to give me a okay, great, thank you. It's been so lovely hearing everyone's story, and I have agreed to sing a little bit for you tonight, but at first I'll just speak a bit about myself. I'm a 22-year-old soprano from Lancashire, just outside Manchester, but my dad is actually from Luton, so I do have a connection to Luton. But I'm in my 4th year at the Royal College of Music in London, but unfortunately due to COVID in March, my course was sort of cut quite short, and I returned home to Lancashire and everything sort of went on Zoom. So I've got used to Zoom quite a bit the last few months. But it kind of, for myself and for other musicians that are in orchestras and in opera houses, it's caused a lot of sort of people not having any sort of income at the moment, and it's been very difficult for a lot of people. I think as a performer, you strive to perform to an audience and to sort of have that connection with people, because as we've said earlier on in the call, music is medicine and it is magic. And luckily, I was in a lucky position as well, because I just founding member of the Rotary Club of London, and we have organised a couple of events over Zoom to raise money. And in June, in collaboration with Rotary, the Rotary Club of London, we did a polio concert, which actually raised £3,000 as it was tripled by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So that was very, very successful, and it was just an incredible feeling as well. Even though the audience was just on the screen, it was really magical for myself and the other performers. And due to that being such a success, last weekend we did another Zoom concert for Crisis, which is our chosen charity this year, which raises money for homelessness in the cities in the UK. And we've just found out that the amount is well over 2,000, which is another great success. And you know, it's sort of, I look at, you know, if I look in the future and I look back during this time, and I ask myself, you know, what did you do during COVID? I'm really happy to say that I've still carried on performing, even though we can't do that in person at the moment. But you know, that will come eventually once, you know, the world is more safe. And but I'm actually back in London at the moment, because my end of year final recital is next Tuesday. So that will be on stage, but unfortunately no audience. But as a performer, you know, we just have to keep going. But eventually, you know, the theatres will open again and things will get back to normal. And you know, I don't think the world could manage without music. So I have agreed as well to sing a little song for you tonight. You'll have to excuse, I'm just going to do it unaccompanied and hope that you can hear it okay, and that I'm not going to deafen you. So I'll just give myself a note and then here we go. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountain side. The summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go, and I must bide. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. And this brings us nicely into the next round of the show, where we have an open discussion. And we are going to ask a very special gentleman among us this evening, Mr. Gordon Henderson, to really, and I expect him to be followed quite closely by Mark, Marie, and possibly Andy and Hopton Walker. So I'm going to actually open the floor to the debaters, to the people among us who really work with the artists, who are the visionaries of the industry, and to really tell us, with all what we've heard from the singers, and I know some of you are artists yourselves, but you also have a different role in the industry, to really put a voice to where do you see us going from here? Where does the industry move from this point of COVID-19 and lockdown and the challenges that we faced within the industry? So I'll ask Gordon to lead the discussion, the open discussion, because we're opening out the debate to everybody in the room. But I have some persons well placed to sort of guide the discussion for me, and I've called on some of the names so they know themselves.
Well, thank you very much. I think it's fantastic that COVID has created an opportunity to get all of us, all you wonderful participants from all over the world in one space. Yes. What I would wish is whenever this new normal is consolidated, because some believe that we may return to the pre-COVID situation, some believe that it's going to be a new normal that we will need to adapt to. I hope that we will meet in person and we'll be able to work with each other. I don't have too much to say. I'm more of an observer here because COVID caught me. I was in the process of doing a world tour to celebrate my 50th year in music. I started in the Indian Ocean in May of 1999. I heard in December of 1999 that I was part of the vulnerable group. I will be 71 on Tuesday. So I decided to confine myself even before it became law or part of the legislation. I live in Paris, France. And so I am here to observe, I am here to listen, I am here to applaud people like Colin SP and her husband, Cornell, for adapting so quickly. Dr. Marie Pascal as well, that I need to make a quick apology, because when I first saw her with all her juvenile looks, she spoke of medicine and I said, "Oh, you're a student." And she said with a lot of humility, "No, I'm a doctor." And I was most impressed. And so I wish to listen. I will answer to any questions, but I'm here more as an observer and to applaud.
Okay, can I ask Mark to tell us what he thinks is some of the issues that the artists are going to have to deal with, particularly when it comes to the whole Zoom and online platform and copyrights and some of the issues that I know he likes to talk about. And maybe Colin can come in here, because I know with her own event, I've been online sometimes and she said, "Oh, we're going to be cut off every time I play that particular song about Jerusalem, they cut us off." So there may be some, copyright issues with some of the activities that are happening online that you can maybe shed some light on.
Okay, well,
I would say the first thing that
you want to turn up your volume on your or come closer.
Yeah, I would say the first impact that the COVID had was that in terms of the social distancing or enforced social distancing.
We're not hearing you at all, Mark. You're very, very low.
My mic is on. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe the volume on your. Go ahead.
You hearing me better now? Okay.
Yep.
I'm not hearing you.
You're not hearing me?
Yes, if you stay in that position, it will be best.
Right. I was saying, in first impact that the COVID had on music was that it prevented people from playing to audiences live. Immediately, so the income that people would make from doing that activity, whether at hotels, carnivals, festivals, etc., simply disappeared. However, music being performed from recordings on radio stations, TV, etc., continued just as normal, because in point of fact, it forced people to rely more on recorded music to enjoy music. At the same time, because the streaming technology was in its, I should say, on a growth path, the live performances to a certain extent got transferred to online. Problem with the online is that many people were using music in an online situation and completely forgetting that they are also the organizers of the event, and therefore they ought to have sought public performance licenses or communication to public licenses from the copyright societies and or the publishers who own the rights in the music. So, and that's not just in Dominica, that's kind of basically all over the world. So the copyright societies have had to scramble to get the performers to seek licenses, as well as to get the platforms themselves to have licenses. But the platforms use the music and the concerts are put on to generate revenue by way of advertising. Like there's a group from the UK there, nice group like them there, Clean Bandit. You know, I've seen them put on online concerts in Japan, even in the UK, in their backyard, etc. And they have lots of people are viewing, you know. And the writers of the songs obviously need to get compensated. We hope, of course, that the COVID-19 pandemic will terminate at some time, and the live performances, because one of the reasons people like live performances is because people like to be with each other. And a concert or some similar event where people are at the same place physically gathered is quite a different thing from a live online concert where you're looking at the screen. You know, you can see the image of the person, but you can't like smell the person and that sort of thing. You know, so we hope that this will come to an end, but we know that the online version of delivering performances will continue because
yes,
it's another.
But that's what I want to bring to the fore, though, because I mean we have a diverse set of artists in the room, and we've all, even myself as an event organizer, and I'm a senior lecturer in events management. So, you know, these are all issues that I have to go back to the drawing board in terms of what we teach and the concerns that the artists, different artists along the different sides of the spectrum would have to be considering if this is how events are going to be going forward in the future. So looking at the positive, from a positive standpoint, what are some of the takeaways you think we need to be considering going forward?
Well, I think one of the positives you might say is that it suddenly forced musicians in Dominica and elsewhere to think of innovative ways of connecting.
Certainly.
Yeah. They've done that, and the public have responded within the circumstances of the COVID, of course, very well. Some people put their concert on for free, and ask the viewers to make a contribution. And from all appearances, contributions have been made, whether through Patreon or directly to the person's bank account or whatever. What I expect to happen is going forward, there will be more structured thing where the people who put on online concerts will be doing them pretty much in the same fashion that you do concerts in halls. In other words, it will be practically all for pay, where you will buy a ticket and you'll have access to the performances. And of course, the question is, how do Dominican performers, songwriters, etc., get the adequate payment from these new forms of consumption of music?
Well, I think it's something that the different policymakers will have to go to the drawing board, people like myself and, researchers, and look at all these various aspects. Because as I said, as an academic, it brings in a new dimension to the curriculum. Because my students, and Hopton Walker is in the room, and we were smack in the middle of it, where we had students who had to think of doing events online, and they were completely blown out of the waters by that. I want to bring in Andy on that discussion, and possibly Hopton, and look at, from your interactions with the community and the different stakeholders, because I know Luton is very diverse. What other issues do you think needs to be considered in this new atmosphere? Either of you can take the floor.
Let me on mute. I think actually, I'm Hopton Walker. I think actually going forward, we are going to be dominated by this social distancing thing. I had a meeting with a local authority just this week, and we were talking about a 5-year plan for Carnival. We just had to focus on 1 year really, because nobody can say what we're going to be doing beyond the end of this year. I mean, we're looking at events here in Luton where there's nothing that's firmed up before Christmas. Everything's actually virtually cancelled, even turning on the Christmas lights, which is a community event. That's probably not going to happen. We're looking forward to St. Patrick's next year, which is in March. And there's some question mark about whether that's happening. As to our carnival in May, again, we're just not sure. The one thing I'm sure of, and I've got a plan for, is that we're going to have a greater online presence. And our last speaker was talking about PRS and PPR. We will have to increase our budget for that, because when we had to cancel Carnival this year, it was, I think that decision was made in March, and there was not enough time to get any online stuff. We were caught off guard, really. Not enough time to get any online material up so that we could do something for our carnival in May. So going forward, I believe our carnival will have quite an appreciable slice of being an online event. We'll obviously have the outdoor stuff, but there'll be an online. And I've had a meeting this week with our artists and community participants, and the message really is start making new costumes now, start doing your preparations now, so you can do it a bit at a time, get and video stuff as you're going along, because that becomes material that can be used next year in the event that we have to go to an all digital carnival, because we never can tell. Mm-hmm. We are, this is just so new to us that there is no way of predicting, where it's going to end, to be honest with you. I suppose the ending will be when a vast majority of the population develops immunity, or have had the virus, or vaccinated, and they're talking about something like 60 to 70%. Well, that's got to go a long way. We've actually stopped the hospitals from being clogged up by the lockdown, but as we open up, you can see spikes all over the place. So I suppose the immediate future is of a number of spikes and managing those spikes.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there any other comments coming from the floor? I see we have Sylvia Smith in the audience, who works a lot with the Dominica community. Sylvia, any comments in terms of how this is impacting the activities that you do in your organization? Dasa, Donna?
Yes, I'm Sylvia Smith, and I'm part of a community organisation. And, you know, just as what's been said, this has totally caught us off guard. We've had to entirely cancel everything that we planned. But on the flip side, we've also learned a lot of new skills. My executive committee, who were totally tech phobic, you know, they're all on Zoom now, and we're talking about people who are older. And I think from that perspective, it's just marvelous. We had to. So yeah, I echo what's being said so far.
Yeah.
Can I come in there? Violet?
Yes.
Can I come in there?
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead. It's open discussion.
Yeah, I was thinking of exactly the same thing. When you think of with Rotary clubs across Beds, Bucks and Herts area, we've got 59 clubs, 57 are on Zoom meetings every week. The oldest member is 99, still on Zoom. So there's a lot of work going on there. But the real interesting bit for me is how I work with a lot of young people in the town and lots of community, is that they're looking at YouTube and doing video filming, all this stuff. If we could work out a way of projecting this into the town centres, into the squares, into where people can get to see live music, live artists as on a daily basis as going around the town. It's a really, you know, we've got technology out there. We've got the virtual cinema side of ideas. If we can have a drive-in cinema, maybe we should be looking at some drive-in performances. I just went to an air show last weekend, and it was all social distancing. You had your square, you had your vehicle, you had your picnic. And I just think if we could, and they can get a football team together to actually be all isolated and things, so performers could be together. There must be a way of doing this outdoors as well. I get the idea of inside, it's difficult, but I think it needs a group to get together to think how we, one, run by technology, two, how we do that within a bigger community. Outdoor.
Yeah. I think technology is really going to be leading the way, because a lot of the formal organizations that we are part of as professionals are all saying the same thing, that the move now is for online events, and conferences are moving online. People are resisting, but we're going to have quite a bit of activity online. Do we have any questions for any of our performers, any of our artists? We want short and sharp questions because we're swiftly approaching 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So does anybody have a burning question or point that they've made
I
who
did
has
want to
not
raise a
spoken
point.
before?
Can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear Sharon?
Yeah, Sharon, quickly.
Okay, I did want to it was just to raise a point about performance and outdoors. Definitely working with councils to see about car parks, to do like an outside cinema and performance. I do think that works well and could happen. But also we can think about smaller performances, outdoor, indoor, and thinking about how that could be managed when we can start to go out, because we will be able to start to formulate in smaller groups, and particularly sort of like, I think around May, February next year. So smaller events could be starting to think about planning that. That's one thing that we've talked about. You're talking about doing Luton Carnival next year, and I know Bedford are thinking about the River Festival, which is in July, which is even later, but they're still looking at situations and started to think about limiting numbers so that events can still go on rather than doing them at the full capacity that we've been used to.
Okay, thank you for that contribution. Anybody else?
Can I just jump in there? I think the difficulty with it as an event organizer, a public and free event, is that you have you're very limited on how you can actually restrict attendance, you know, without incurring a massive cost, you know, in terms of fencing and security and so on. So that's we can always put on the event, but the difficulty is in managing that as a responsible event organizer.
Okay, I want to bring Colin XP back on the floor for a moment, because I think the whole idea of this event, and I want to, because we're closely approaching 9 o'clock, I want us to end on the same high that we started. And I want Colin to really share for us a little bit of takeaway, I think, for the artists, based on your model of really, I think I heard your story. I heard it more than once because I listened to you and Cornell a lot. And I know it started by you saying, what can we do? What shall we do during that period? Leave the artists in the room with a message, a testimony of your own personal experience and how they too can take positive action to turn things around based on the feedback. And I see the Zoom messages, I see the WhatsApp, I see the YouTubers, I see the t-shirts being worn. What message can you give to the other artists in the room so they too can think outside of the box and take their creativity to the next level in the new normal?
Right. Well, the first thing you can do is try your best not to sit around and wonder, oh my God, the coronavirus has hit, or we have another pandemic, whether it's corona or not. What am I going to do with myself? You know, there are many different things, and we are now in a new millennium where internet runs the world. You know, before corona, a lot of people didn't know who Colin XP was, you know, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people in this panel right now who had no idea who Colin XP was or who Colin XP is, you know. But after this corona, I'm definitely sure you're going to remember my name, because I'm going to put it out there so that the whole world can know who Colin XP is. And this is what I don't really like to say thank you to Corona, but still thank you to Corona, you know, for allowing me to explore my creativity and to see how I can get myself out there, how I can get Dominica out there, how I can still be performing, you know, because I'm a full-time musician. How can I get my music out there, and how can I still interact and grow my fan base? You know, so I would say to all the musicians, let's try to make something positive out of a whole negative situation, a whole pandemic. You know, you find out what it is that you can do to uplift people, to grow your platform, to lift yourself and your profession musically, you know. And I'm just being joined here by Cornell.
I was wondering when he's going to come into the room, and that's perfect timing, I think.
Yes, I think so.
The man behind the lady, or the lady behind the man.
Hi, good afternoon.
So
hi.
We're just giving a little advice to persons as to how it is that we go about the musical therapy, and what we can say to other artists as to encourage them to make something positive out of a negative situation.
I don't know, I think musical therapy came about as we needing the therapy ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if Colin said the same thing I'm going to say, but being at home for 24/7, and you know, even if we're husband and wife, sometimes it can get to you. And the fact that we would go out, our daily schedule was just wiped off clean. So we needed to do something. So we came up with that first musical therapy. The initial purpose of it was to really spread the word of social distancing and stuff like that. But also it gave us something to pass the time, you know? And as Colin must have said, I mean, people were so taken by it, you know, by the fact of what it actually did. It was truly musical therapy, and they asked us to continue. And we just looked at it as an opportunity to have something to do, to really give back to Colin XP fans, to really, you know, have some kind of therapy, you know, for people needing it. And also we made it into a source of an income earner, you know, because this is what we do for a living, and all our gigs, all our tours were basically canceled, and we were wondering what it is we were going to do. Reserves were starting to go low and stuff like that. So, and we understood that everybody was going through the same thing or something similar to what we were going through. So we didn't want to make it like a pay-per-view kind of module. So if you can give us something. If you can, that is all right.
Yeah.
But we want you to be happy. We still want you to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
We still want you, you know, to have that mental stress, drain that mental stress. And this week is our 21st, tomorrow is our 21st Sunday doing this, and we love it. And we like the fact that our audience are really appreciating what we do, what it is that we are doing. And the audience is our drive, basically.
Yeah. I think people will become stressed if you stop. Because I'll tell you something. And I don't know if you got the feeling, but when you did that for You My Fan Friends, everybody thought that was the end of it.
Yes, I know. Because that this is something that we actually
Can you tell the audience what For You My Fans is? Hashtag YFM. Can you tell the audience what that is?
For You My Fans. In the United States, it means something else. But when we first decided to do that, it was in the form of the song itself. You know, it wasn't as a concert, but it was just the song. And it was FYMF, For You My Fans. And that is a song that was actually penned since last year. Then, you know, everything is about timing. So it was shelved until we got a chance to do it. Then COVID came along, then we had to shelve it again. And we just decided, we started the clothing line. And one of the shirts was FYMF, For You My Fans, you know, which I have on right now. So we just decided to do a live concert. And we also did the live concert to really create some kind of financial reward for the whole production. Because obviously we work with other people, other musicians, dancers, production, and all these things were, you know, non-existent right now, you know, because of COVID. And we took the opportunity to get sponsors on board and see what we could do, make a little something so we could actually, our musicians, our fellow musicians and production crew can actually have something, you know, in their hand.
Okay.
I tell you, in Dominica, the live entertainment industry is at its lowest right now.
Well, it is that way all over the world, and that is why every time we have this show, there's a surprise that we do, and I would like to call on our Zoom master now to help me at this point. And this Cornell and Colin XP is just a virtual symbol of our appreciation to you. And on behalf of Toastmasters International Orators Club and the Rotary Club of Luton Someries, we really want to recognize this excellent service that you have done throughout the period of COVID from the beginning. And as you rightly said, it is still continuing in helping Dominicans at home and abroad, and other friends and family, other nationals around the globe, to really have some musical therapy weekly. And in acknowledgement of your special contribution to the arts of culture, we present to you this special award. Now we're doing it virtually, as you know, because we have no other choice. You are in Dominica, we're here in the UK, but trust me when I say you will receive something physical, as we have discussed, in the not too distant future. We will take that discussion offline, but we are just capturing this moment to really symbolize the appreciation of your contribution as artists. We know that your family have really contributed phenomenally to the whole bouillon and WCK kind of music that we've had in Dominica and throughout the Caribbean, which is an international hit as well. And yet again, in the COVID period, you have stepped up to the plate and made us proud. So we are doing this virtual recognition. However, you will receive a physical representation of your award that you can put among the many I am sure that you already have. And on behalf of the Rotarians and the Toastmasters in the room, we just really want to, which we do in recognizing outstanding service to the wider community. We really want to just congratulate you. And we're doing this so that the other artists can really recognize that thinking outside of the box can be your answer to some of the questions that we've had for the day. Thank you, Ermine. And at this point, we just want to have Sylvia again, really. I wish I could give you a non-social distancing hug, but that's how we have to do it for now. And I think I'm going to ask somebody in the room to just, because I'm sure she might want to say something to you. We have the honor, where is she? We have, yes, I'm seeing her. We have the High Commissioner of Dominica in the room. So I'll give her an opportunity to say something very short to the two of you.
Hi.
We're not hearing you, you're mute. You need to.
Thank you, Dr. Cuffy, and thank you to the Rotary Club and Toastmasters for recognizing two of our legends and very popular and fun-loving artists in Dominica. Colleen and Cornell, they're both bouillon, let us say, experts. And we all know that this music, this genre of music was created or formed by Cornell. And I'm really, really happy to see the two of you here. And I have listened to your performance and your music therapy sometimes. I have kept silent, but you do a fantastic job. And Dr. Cuffy, on behalf of the diaspora here in the UK, we really, really want to say thank you, and to Toastmasters and Rotary for recognizing. And in ending, I want to say that COVID-19 has allowed artists to reach audiences that they would not have normally reached. And tonight was a display of that. And we see artists from all over the globe coming together in this forum. And as one of the presenters said, it is going to be the new normal. And the question for us to reflect on is how are we going to deliver, how artists are going to deliver, how they're going to transform their new normal into something tangible for the community. So thank you very much. And I'm happy to see Cornell and Kali here tonight.
Thank you. So I will now hand over the floor to our commander for the evening, Ophelia, to give maybe her final remarks before introducing our closing speaker for this event.
I have to say that,
Ophelia?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
I am really very happy to have been the co-mayor. You couldn't find a better word for me. Thank you. And Cornell and Carlin, love you all. I check with them after every show on Sunday, and they can tell you, ask Cornell. And you know, we are really happy that we have been able to join up not just Dominica, not just Rotary, not just the Toastmasters, but everybody. Really, the world is represented here. I didn't get a chance to sing to Mr. Walker, but we like your song, the one where we say, "Good morning, Mr. Walker," that one. And but it was delightful hearing Udani Boy. You know, I was a little girl when they taught me that in St. Luke's School. So it's so easy for us to take this music, put COVID on our side, or maybe put him in the middle and join up the world in this kind of way. Congratulations to all of you. I want to thank my husband for his futuristic views, and I look forward to us having more of this, or whatever the new normal is, because together, I am sure we can make it happen. Let me, without further ado, introduce the District Governor, Vijay Patel, to do the final closing remark.
What is that? W. Wow.
O-W.
W. Oh,
wow. 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 Wow.
And fantastic. All those people who participated this evening. And on behalf of Rotary and District 1260 of Rotary in particular, I want to thank Toastmasters International and Rotary Club of Luton Someries for putting on a fantastic show of art, culture, and music. I was totally impressed by what I have seen today. And what a fantastic way of advancing international understanding, goodwill, and peace, and community service through our mutual connection. And Toastmasters will allow Rotarians the opportunity to develop our professional and communication skills. Skills which are so essential for Rotarians to create an impact, not only on the outside world, but in ourselves by enhancing our engagement. And this increased impact will enable us to expand our reach to members of Toastmasters, so you can join us and together we can create lasting change for humanity across the globe. In many respects, we are similar organizations, and Rotary can offer Toastmasters the opportunity to participate in providing service to our local and global communities, as well as networking for business and social activities. So thank you very much, Toastmasters and Rotarians, for this new partnership. And we look forward to a long and lasting relationship between the two of us. May these kind of shows carry on, and I will try my very best to encourage other Rotarians in the district to join, because if they do, I'm sure we will go much further than we all ever thought. Thank you very much for everything you have done tonight.
Thank you, everyone.
Can we now turn on all cameras and give everybody a big round of applause? Everybody turn your camera on, and can we get some photos? Zoom master, fantastic night. Cameras on, please, so we can get some lovely shots. Better.
Well done, Dr. Cuffy.
Well done, well done. Congratulations to everybody. And everybody who participated will get a certificate of participation and appreciation for your services as well. But Colin and Cornell really have been doing something fantastic for the entire COVID period. And as we do every month, we celebrate an outstanding, we recognize outstanding contribution. So we'll open the mics. We normally have a little discussion afterwards, so we can possibly stop live recording and live broadcast and just have a bit of a networking session, 10-15 minutes before we lock off Zoom completely. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Well done, Viola.
So yes, we have stopped recording, I think. Have we?
Yes, there's live on Facebook.
That's okay. I think if the live is on, that's fine, but at least the recording can be neat. So thank you, everybody. I really, really appreciated the session this evening. Thank you to all the contributions. A little party after party.
P-E-R-R, that is.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well done, everyone.
I am homesick right now.